Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be starting our last chapter of the year, and that is Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is all about solving linear systems by graphing. Or solving linear systems, I should say. The first one in 7.1 is where we're going to solve by graphing. So how we need to do that, we're going to start off with a little review on how to graph equations. The first thing we have is y equals 2x plus 4. So what we have is y equals mx plus b. We know that our m is our slope, so our m here is 2. And our b is 4, because 4 and the b line up. Now when we're graphing this, we always begin at the b. The b is the y-intercept, so the y-intercept is 4. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. We begin at that point. Then the slope, we're going to go up 2, because that's our rise. And then anything without a number underneath it just has a 1 as a fraction. So that means we're going to go over 1. That's our run. So we go up 2 over 1. If we wanted to do the opposite, we'd go down 2 to the left 1, and down 2 to the left 1. So once we have some points, we can go ahead and graph this line by drawing a line straight through them. So we have a straight line going positive. The next one, we have an equation in point-slope form. We need to get it to slope-intercept form, the y equals mx plus b, first before we do anything. So we're going to draw our box. And we get negative 3 times x plus 1. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. So what we're left with then is y minus 5 equals negative 3x minus 3. Now to get y by itself, we need to add 5. And add 5 over here to the negative 3. So then what we are left with, our 5's cancel, we get y equals negative 3x. Negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. So negative 3x plus 2. That means our m, or our slope, is negative 3. And our b, or our y-intercept, is 2. So what we're going to do is begin at our y-intercept, and our y-intercept is 2. So we're going to begin right there. Then our slope is negative, so we're going to go down 3 and over to the right 1. Down 1, 2, 3, over to the right 1. Down 1, 2, 3, over 1. So if we just would graph this, just draw a line through our points. We'll have our equation graphed in a line. So now that we've reviewed graphing equations, we're going to go on to something a little bit newer. What we're going to do is we're going to graph both of these equations on the same graph. And we're going to try to find the solution to both of these equations. Well, if we take a look at the first one, y equals x minus 7, we know that we have an m of 1, because if x is by itself, there's a 1 in front of it. And we know we have a b of negative 7. So if we were to graph that, we would begin at negative 7, Begin at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now our slope is 1, so 1 over 1. We're going to go up 1 and over to the right 1. So we get a point there, and there, and there. So then if we graph that line, we get a line that goes like that. The second one says y equals negative 1/4 x minus 2. So that means our m is negative 1/4 and our b is negative 2. So what we're going to do is begin at negative 2. And then our slope, we're going to go down 1 and over to the right 4 because it's a negative. So down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1 and we run out of room. So we go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. And we can create a line through those points. Now as you can see, our lines cross at this point right here. The solution to our problem is the coordinates of that point. So when we have coordinates, we have x, y. For x, we're going to go left or right. We always do x first. So we're going to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our x is going to be 4. And y is up and down. So from 4 we go down 1, 2, 3. So that is negative 3. So our solution to this problem is 4, negative 3. Alright, for this one we need to do a little bit of solving before we can graph. So let's solve the first one before we do anything. So the first one's in point-slope form, which means we have to get it to slope-intercept form. And we're going to do that by drawing our box. So we have 3/4 on the outside and x plus 4 on top. So 3/4 times x is 3/4 x. And 3/4 times 4 is positive 3. So then we have y plus 1 equals 3/4 x plus 3. So to get it into slope-intercept form, we need to get y by itself. So we need to subtract 1 and subtract 1. So we get y equals 3/4 x plus 2. So that means that our m for this first equation is 3/4 and our b is 2. So we can start by graphing that. So we're going to go up 2 to begin at 2. Then our slope is up 3 and over to the right 4. So up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Or down 1, 2, 3 and over to the left 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have that line graphed. We can go on to our next one. This one, we have to solve for y. We have to get y by itself. So the first thing we have to do then is subtract x to get x to the other side. So then what we're left with is 4y equals negative x minus 8. Now we need to divide by 4 to get y by itself. We're dividing everything by 4. So we get y equals negative 1/4 x minus 2. So that means our m is negative 1/4 and our b is negative 2. So then if we graph that, we start right at negative 2, and we are going down 1 and over 4. So down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. If we do the opposite, we go up 1 and over to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can graph that line by connecting our dots. So this point where our lines cross, that is our solution to our problem. So the solution then, like we said before, is xy. It's a coordinate. So we go over negative 1, 2, 3, 4. So our x is negative 4. And our y is down 1, so negative 1. So our solution is negative 4, negative 1. The last couple problems we're going to do is we need to tell whether the ordered pair is a solution of the linear system. So here's our ordered pair, 5, 2. What we're going to do is we are going to take this 5, 2. We know that this is the x and this is the y. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this 5 in for our x and our 2 in for our y's. Now what we have to do is we need to do these separately. So this is our first equation. We'll do that one first. So number 1, we have 2, and then we said our x was 5. So we need to put 5 in for x. Minus our 3y, we said our y was 2, equals 4. Now if this works, our answer should come out to be 4. So 2 times 5 gives us 10. 3 times 2 gives us 6. 10 minus 6. If that equals 4, we know that this works. So 10 minus 6 equals 4. And 4 equals 4. So we know that the top one works. Now we need to check and see if the second one works. This is our second equation. Again, we have a 2x. So we'll have 2 times 5 plus 8 times our y, which we said our y was 2, and that equals 11. So 2 times 5, well, that gives us 10, plus 8 times 2, that gives us 16, equals 11. 10 plus 16 gives us 26, and 26 does not equal 11. So this one doesn't work. So this one is no. This one, of course, was yes, because it worked. So this ordered pair, 5, 2, is not a solution to this linear system because it doesn't work for both. It works for one, but it doesn't work for the second. So it's not a linear solution. Second one, we have our x and we have our y. Our x is -3 and our y is 1. So what we're going to do then is put -3 in for x. So we have -3. This is our first equation. We have -3 plus our 1, which is our y, equals -2. Well, -3 plus 1 gives us -2, and -2 equals -2. So this one works. This one is yes. Now our second equation, number 2, again we have x by itself and our x is -3 plus 5 times our y, and our y is 1, equals 2. Well, -3 is just -3. 5 times 1 gives us 5. That equals 2. -3 plus 5 equals 2. 2 equals 2. So this one is also yes. That tells us that -3, 1 is a solution to this linear system because it works for both of them.